must think he know it all.
Yo, it's your boy Bam I Am, and you are now tuned into another episode of the Wise Guy Podcast. First and foremost, we are now entering week 7 in the NFL. Yes, week 7. It seems like everything's going by very quick now, but week 7 and Thursday night to start off, we had the Broncos versus Saints. Roger Goodell, I don't know why you put the Broncos versus the Saints on a prime time game. A lot of people were watching the MLB playoffs instead of watching this game, and I have no problem with that because who will want to sit down and watch that game? But I understand, yes, Drew Brees entering the Ring of Honor, playing the Saints playing against their old head coach Sean Payton, and I get where we're trying to go with this, but it just... Come on, man. Like, to enter week 7, a couple weeks ago, we had the Falcons versus the Bucks. Kirk Cousins threw for like 500 yards. Baker Mayfield balled out crazy. Bijan didn't ball. Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. I know for a fact he ain't ball, but you got to be patient because this week he actually balled. So you got to be patient with that. But anyways, and then the first couple weeks we had Aaron Rodgers show us a vintage Aaron Rodgers classic when the Jets went against the Patriots. And then this Thursday night game was horrible, awful actually. But it's been, like I said, 7 weeks have passed by in the NFL, and my first thing I want to really talk about is my top 10 NFL teams right now. So first, I have the Vikings. Really, the Vikings, their defense is amazing. They're second in takeaways. Sam Darnold's been playing very efficient. But Sam Darnold has 11 touchdowns and 4 picks right now. They have Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison just came back from an injury. They're about to get their tight end back from an injury. And Brian Flores has his defense balling out. Like I said earlier, second in takeaways on defense. And it just feels like that they're playing competition. They blew out the Houston Texans. They almost blew out the Packers. We came back, but They handled their business. They beat the 49ers. They're beating very good teams. And I feel like they have a big test coming up against the Lions because the Lions just put out an ass whooping against the Cowboys. They just fondled with them. But that's besides the point. But the Vikings have a big test against the Lions this weekend. I feel like it's going to be a very great game because the Lions just coming back from what they did and the Vikings coming off a bye, fresh legs, and they're rested and everything. I feel like it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But the second team is the Chiefs. Yes, Patrick Mahomes has not really been playing up to Patrick Mahomes' standard, but their defense is incredible. Their defense is balling out. It's like they're winning a lot of games because of their defense, and then Patrick Mahomes making the right decision. But I just feel like it's going to be hard to stop them due to the fact because Patrick Mahomes can get hot out of anywhere. And then Travis Kelce, he can actually get hot. We all know how that connection goes. Yes, Rashid Rice got hurt, but I just feel like it's going to be hard to stop them right now. And they're a top 2 team there. They're undefeated. Even though that the quarterback hasn't really been playing up to our standards of us watching him play, but I feel like they're a really good team. The Lions have a very, very elite offense. Like, the offense is scary. They got J-Bo. They got Amar St. Brown, David Montgomery, and they got Gibbs in the back. Like, that offense, and they got Jared Goff. That offense is scary. Another Thursday night game with the Seahawks versus the Lions. Jared Goff, he had no incompletions. That man, Jared Goff, didn't throw an incompletion that whole game. That Jared Goff is playing very, very well too. But yeah, they're very scary. I feel like their offensive coordinator was really it's a lot of trick plays and everything, but it feel like they run deep with those play calls and everything. And my fourth team is the Ravens. The Ravens really speak for themselves. They went on I think they went 0-2 the first 2 games, and then they're on a 3-game win streak right now, or a 4-game win streak. Lamar Jackson, I feel like he's the MVP front runner. He's balling out, and pairing him with Derrick Henry, and then you already know their defense is going to do what their defense does. But it's just like when Lamar is balling like he's balling right now, it's hard to stop him. Like, he has 10 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions, and he has over 1,529 yards. Like, Lamar's balling out of his mind right now. And then you pairing him in the backfield with Derrick Henry. My 15 is the Texans. The Texans are C.J. Stroud's incredible. Like, what he does every day is very, very good. C.J. Stroud's good. Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon just came off of his injury. I've seen what he looked like the first couple games, so I expect him to continue to do what he does. And then Nico Collins, he's first in receiving yards in the whole NFL, and he's hurt right now, so that's really their only downfall. But their defense is good. They have a defensive coach, but they look very good too. Like I feel like their offense is good. They have 3 guys that you can argue to be 3 number ones really, and then you have Joe Mixon in the backfield, and you have C.J. Stroud throwing that ball. So the Texans are top 5 in my opinion. Then 6 is the Packers. I know, bro. I know, like y'all gonna think I sound biased, but Jordan Love, I feel like he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. The things that he does, like I feel like if you want to model your game, you should definitely not model your game off of Jordan Love. He throws fadeaways, throws a bunch of off platform throws and everything. Like he's very erratic. He would throw picks, but I feel like with Jordan Love, you're never out of a game. Because even the first game he came back after the little MCL sprain he had, he came back and he played against the Vikings, and he threw them 3 interceptions, and we were down. We came all the way back, and we outscored the Vikings 28-3 in the second half, even though they outscored us 28-0 in the first quarter. But that's a story for another day, Came back, had to knock a little rust off, threw a little picks. Some of them were his fault, but we ain't going to talk about it. But Jordan Love, plus you're adding the receivers, Jaden Reed, he's going to be a breakout superstar. He gives me Debo vibes. He can take it out of the backfield. He can run in the slot. He can run out in the open. Like, there's nothing that Jaden Reed can't do. Like, he gives me a lot of Debo Samuels vibes. Then you got Christian Watson, speedster, deep ball master. Then you got Romeo Dobbs, a man that can really he can damn near run the route tree. Then you got I think Dontavius Wicks, who has the most upside out of all of them, really, because it just seems like he's always open. He might not make the catch, but he's always open. And even when he's not open, he's like he pinpoints the ball every time. He might not make the catch, but it's just like he reminds me a lot of, take this with a grain of salt, he reminds me a lot of Devontae Adams, because if you're a real Packers fan, you remember Devontae Adams when his first 2 seasons started. He really we didn't really, his first couple seasons we didn't even think he was gonna last, and then look what he is now. So then the Packers are first in the NFL takeaways on defense. That's amazing if you think about it, because if you look about last year, when we had Joe Barry, we were like last in every defensive category. It was horrible. Safety play was horrible. Now we have the best safety being Xavier McKinney. Then Jair Alexander. The Packers we have weapons everywhere. I feel like with Jordan Love, we're never out the game too. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say Tucker Kraft. He's gonna show y'all. He's gonna show y'all this season. Watch. He's been balling. Watch. Fantasy owners, pick him up. But anyways, after the Packers, I got Commanders. Jaden Daniels has been balling out of his mind ever since the 2 low games he had when he lost. After that, he's been balling crazy. Him and Terry McLaurin have really found like that connection. I think that Terry was really looking for somebody that he was trying to get with other people that he couldn't find, but he really got it with Jaden Daniels. They've been balling out their mind, and I feel like they're really going to win that division, because the Cowboys America's team. But my 8th team is the 49ers. The reason I put the 49ers is when they're healthy, their roster, it's a Super Bowl roster. We all know they have a juggernaut of a roster on their team. They have George Kittle, Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk. Jennings showed up a couple games. Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy. If not, Jordan Mason. Brock Purdy. Their defense speaks for themselves. So, but I do feel like the 49ers window for a Super Bowl is closing. Year by year, they don't win it. So, these guys, they keep getting hurt. How long you think Trent Williams is going to play? How long are we going to have a fully healthy Deebo? George Kittle is really the only one that stays, consistently healthy. But sometimes he be having trouble, too. Brandon Ayuk, he's been iffy this year. But we are only 7 games in. But I just feel like they're definitely going to, make the playoffs. They're definitely a top 10 team. But they, dropped a lot of stinkers. And the stinkers were in their division, the Rams and the Cardinals. 2 teams the Packers blew out, but, Then the Bills, Josh Allen's been playing actually very efficient. He hasn't threw 1 pick. They just got Amari Cooper. That's an amazing pickup. And I feel like with Josh Allen, you're really never out of it, because it's Josh Allen, even though he's a little erratic at times. But then, like, he's playing better this year. He hasn't been throwing picks, so we just have to see. I have the Bucks. The Bucks have been balling. Baker Mayfield just came off of throwing 5 touchdowns. He's been doing his thing. They have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and they got Bucky in the backfield to match up with White. So the Bucks looking good. And then I know that's my top 10, but I could really put the Falcons in there to replace a team if I really wanted to. They could replace the Bucks. They did beat the Bucks. Kirk Cousins looking good. They got Moody. They got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. Even though he balled this week though, I could really put them in for the Bucks or the Bills. But those are my top 10. After that, I want to talk about my top 10 quarterbacks right now. First and foremost, I got Lamar Jackson. It speaks for itself. He's been balling out as a mind. He's 10 for 2, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Do you really think that they will ball? If you take Lamar Jackson out of the team, will they be the Ravens? No. So I feel like Lamar Jackson is the top quarterback right now. After that, I got Sam Darnold. That speaks for itself too. Kevin O'Connell, amazing play caller, has been having him play out of his mind. He's 11 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's 5-0. That's like, he's been balling crazy. Then I got Jaden Daniels, also has been balling crazy. He doesn't really have as much passing touchdowns, but he is a dual threat, so he has a lot of run touchdowns too, I think. But he has 6 touchdowns, 6 passing touchdowns, and he only has 2 interceptions. So then I have Joe Burrow. I understand the Bengals are 2-4 right now, but I really don't think it's Joe Burrow's fault or Jamar Chase's fault or T. Higgins. I think it's a coaching problem. Joe Burrow his stats are very, very good. He's 12-2. He is 4th in passing yards. The first game of the season, they lost to the Patriots. The first game is really a toss-up. A lot of teams, sometimes you don't know who you are as a team in the first game, but I think it was a little hiccup. When they lost against the Chiefs, that wasn't Joe Burrow's fault at all. It was literally a last-second call by the refs. And then when they lost against the Ravens, I just feel like, why did they ran the ball 3 straight times and tried to kick a field goal to win the game? Why would you not be aggressive when you know you have the 2-time reigning MVP other sideline? You want to give him back the ball? I feel like that was horrible coaching, but Joe Burrow's been balling. After that, I got Josh Allen. He has 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he's been playing efficient ball, like they're first in the division. And I just feel like Josh Allen is learning what throw not to make and everything. So 6, I have Jordan Love. Like I said, he's 2nd in touchdown passes in the NFL right now, and he missed 2 games. He only has 6 picks. Most of the picks are really not his fault. I want to take away like 3 of them picks, not his fault. It's really going to be a big test going up against Houston. I want to see how that plays out for them and everything. A lot of the throws he's making, it gives us a lot of Aaron Rodgers, Favre's vibes. So after that, I got Purdy. Purdy's actually been playing pretty decent, even though like they haven't been winning a lot of games. He's 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and he's 2nd in passing yards. So yeah, Brock Purdy. Then I have Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is 8th in passing yards and is number 1 in touchdowns. So Baker Mayfield's been balling. He has 15 touchdowns and 5 picks. Then I have Jared Goff. Jared Goff, he has 8 touchdowns, 4 picks. After that, I have C.J. Stroud, 10 touchdowns and 4 picks, and he is 6th in passing yards. I understand everybody's like, where is Patrick Mahomes? Where is Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes has not been balling. He has not been balling, but I will put him in there just because he's Patrick Mahomes, and I trust him out of all these players right now. But I'm just going off of what I've been seeing right now, and right now these are the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. After that, I just want to talk about the Jets and them picking up Devontae Adams and everything. So, as we know, the Jets, they're 2-4. Last week, they fired their head coach. I feel like it was erratic. I feel like it was very out of the ordinary to fire your coach 5 weeks in. But, it's the Jets. The Jets ain't winning in a long time. So, they get scared fast. They see another losing season, and they got A-Rod in the backfield. They're like, oh, we thought this was going to bring us to the promised land. Get a 40-year-old quarterback that just came off his torn Achilles and think that he's going to carry us to the promised land. Nah, it doesn't work like that, bro. Aaron Rodgers, there's nothing wrong with his arm at all. He can still sling it with the best of them, pause. But him being mobile is not there anymore. And you have to protect the quarterback too. And we have to wait for this team to gel together. But them picking up Devontae Adams is like perfect for them due to the fact that you got somebody that already knows how to play the system, already knows how to play with Aaron Rodgers, knows every little cadence, every little hand gesture that Aaron Rodgers does at the line of scrimmage. He's gonna know everything. If he's gonna know if he wants to throw a back shoulder, want to throw a fade, he's gonna know everything, and that opens up everything for Garrett Wilson too, because Garrett Wilson's getting all these doubles right now. You can't double both of them. One of them's gonna be open. And then if they're probably not going to keep Mike Williams, but if they do, that'll be good for them too. But it's just going to be very scary with pairing Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. If you think about it now, logically, what's a better duo than Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams in the NFL right now? Logically. Because if you think about it, these are two number ones. Garrett Wilson's the number one. He was getting 1,000-yard season when Zach Wilson was throwing to him. So that's the number one already. And Devontae Adams' resume already speaks for itself. First ballot Hall of Famer. We already know this. So if I'm a Jets fan, I'm going to be very optimistic because, first of all, I have Aaron Rodgers. He can get hot. He can go on a streak. I've seen it. I remember 2016, we were 5-6. He went on a streak, won 5 in a row, 10-6, went to the NFC Championship and lost. But it just goes to show you're never out of it with Aaron Rodgers. And then you add Devontae Adams with him, and you give him more weapons. Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall in the backfield, and then Braden Allen in the backfield too. They demoted Nathaniel Hackett, got the new OC. You can tell in that Bills game, they were moving down the field more. They just couldn't capitalize off of their bad penalties, and they couldn't capitalize in the red zone. Because if you really think about it, they should have damn near had 30-plus points that night. There was a lot of bad officiating all over the board, but they should have had 30-plus points that night. And if you're watching the game, you know that there's nothing wrong with Aaron Rodgers' arm. There was one of the throws he threw to Allen Lazard. I don't know anybody that could put it in a better spot than him. I don't know anybody that could do that but him. Then that Hail Mary speaks for itself. But I just feel like if I'm a Jets fan, I have hope now that Devontae Adams is here, and he's here to help. And you can tell that Woody Johnson, it's a win-now situation for them. If Devontae Adams can't save the Jets, I don't know what can. Okay? After that, I want to talk about the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers have a big test this coming weekend on Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. The Green Bay Packers take on the Houston Texans. And as we know, the Houston Texans are very good. They have a very good record. They're 5-1. The only team they lost to was the Vikings. We lost to them too, but they got blown out. We had our own, We don't get finger popped on the football field like some niggas, But anyways, it's actually gonna be a very good game just the fact you got C.J. Stroud going against Jordan Love. Then they got their little squad because they got Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon. Then we got Jaden Breed, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Wicks if he's healthy, and Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and both defenses are electric. It's going to be a very good game, and it's really going to show which team is ready to take that next step. You feel me? Because you look at the Packers' schedule, their hardest game was the 2 games they lost, but then again, the 2 games they lost a combined of 6 points. So if you're a Packers fan, you already know about the kicker problem. The kicker probably missed a combined of 6 field goals in both of those games combined. So if you make those field goals, you win. But then again, you really can't blame it. It's a very big test. I'm really excited to see where it's going to show where the team is at and which team is ready to make that next step. But I really like the Packers in the game to the fact that they have home field advantage. I feel like we're the more healthier team. The Houston Texans don't have Nico Collins, so I'm really interested to see what happens though. After that, I want to talk about the NFC North. In the NFC North, the best division right now, every team has a winning record. It's so good that we are actually last. We are 4-2 and last in our own division. The Bears are also 4-2. The Bears have been balling too, even though November 17th is going to get wicked. But the ass is going to be displayed. But we're not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to give the Bears praise, unlike they do us. The Bears have been doing very good. They've been beating bad teams, but they've been blowing out the bad teams. Caleb Williams, he just came off of 4 touchdowns to get the Jags. They got DJ Moore. Keenan Allen when he's healthy. Then they got Swift in the backfield. Then they got Rome. That's a really good team. Then the Lions, amazing team. They just did what they did to the Cowboys. Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, J-Bo, Mars St. Brown, David Montgomery. Their offense is stacked. They seem like they can do anything in the offense, whether it's trick plays, whether it's run down the field. They can play cute with you. They can try to run out the clock. So I think the Lions are they're a very good team too. And then the Vikings 5-0. They've been doing teams dirty. They've been blowing out teams too. So the NFC North is looking like the best division. Maybe it'll be the first division in a long time to have all their teams go to the playoffs, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But this game against the Vikings Lions is going to be a very, very good game. And I just want to see how it plays out, shows where each team is at. We've been seeing the Vikings do people in dirty, and then the Lions is coming off what they did. So it's going to be fun to see how that goes. Then the Dallas Cowboys. With the Dallas Cowboys, their 5-game schedule, if you look at it, they have a chance to go 0-5. But that's a topic for another day. But tune in next time to the Wise Guy Pod.